moment to breathe, grab a beverage or two. We got professional guests with lots of stories for you. So take a seat right here and join us on Careers Over Beers.
All right. Welcome to Careers Over Beers podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 51, I believe, and I have a barber on the show today.
That's right.
Tell the world who you are, sir.
All right, guys. I'm Braeden Oakleaf. I'm also known in the hair industry as the men's hairdresser.
The men's hairdresser.
That's right.
Yeah, that's your handle on social media, right?
Like online and throughout some parts of the hair industry. I used to educate. So like I would go to trade shows and do like presentations on different men's haircuts throughout the United States. And then I would also go to like salons and barbershops and whatnot.
Really?
Teach the same stuff.
Yeah.
Just in front of a smaller crowd. I did that under a company, American Crew, which is...
Is that the CRUE company?
No, it's just American Crew, like CREW. Yeah.
Regular.
They're the biggest men's hair brand in the world. They brought me on. They have everybody. There's like 30 of them, I think, in the United States. They brought me on when I had just turned 21, maybe. And they're all like 1099s employees, basically.
Yeah.
So they find accounts for you to. You have to reach out to all these accounts, and then you travel wherever it may be. Me personally, only in the United States. Other people throughout the world, and yeah, you just go educate.
People
in a gist, men's hair, and you do like a demonstration on a men's haircut, kind of talk to it. That was like in little class. You do that in front of little classrooms. You also do it in like, I've done it in front of big ass crowds.
Really?
Yeah, like 3,000 to 5,000 people or so.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like most industries. There's trade shows. You know what I mean? In the hair industry, the trade shows are, how do I put this? They're kind of a big party. I mean, most everyone you know that does hair, I'd imagine, they like to party. They're kind of a fun time. So you go to these trade shows, and there's a bunch of different brands there, like vendors and whatnot. There's also like a stage where there'll be different brands, even like personal brands, like just a guy like teaching a haircut that's grown his brand strong. And yeah, you just go there and you teach. Like when you're working for American Crew, you teach kind of their method and their methodology, all that kind of stuff.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah. Most people don't. Unless you're in hair. Most people don't. But yeah, it's basically like if you compare it to any other kind of industries, it's just a trade show, basically.
Okay, just like any other person would with like a landscape business or something.
Exactly, yeah. It's just a little bit more of a party in that sense.
I didn't know hair people were that fun.
Typically, yeah.
Really?
I've known a few that aren't, but I mean, I've been in the hair industry almost 9 years, and I mean, damn near everybody I met's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's some people that are a little bit older in the game that are kind of on their way out. They're not quite as fun, but
yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
I guess I've just never really been in a group of hair people before.
Yeah, no, it's a fun time for sure.
So you were obviously cutting hair then before you started doing these shows and stuff?
Yeah, so when I was in hair school, I want to say like 2014, Instagram was relatively not that popular.
It wasn't a thing like it is now.
People were posting pictures, but it was more or less like, I mean, we all remember when Instagram you would post a picture and then you'd put a border around the picture. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't what it is today. There was no video, anything like that. Anyways, like 2014, I was in hair school, and I actually went to a cosmetology school. So I learned women's hair before I learned men's hair. But when you're in a hair school, you try to get people to come in and see you to, just get better and whatnot, so you don't sit around all day.
Right.
And I was in a school full of women where I was the only guy. And, everybody I would bring in is guys.
Yeah.
So I just was learning on men's hair mostly. I was getting pretty good at women's hair, but, like, it was pretty apparent where my skills were at naturally. And so I started taking photos of some of the men's haircuts I was doing and posting them on Instagram, which you know, you hadn't seen much of that as far as the hair goes at this point. And I started really like getting clients to come see me while I hadn't even had a license yet. I was in hair school.
Oh yeah.
And
in hair school, you guys like practice on people.
You're
right?
learning, yeah.
People will come in and get
when you come get a haircut at a hair school, you gotta sign a release form saying you know that this person that's cutting you is not licensed, which is, you know, most of the people that came in knew me fairly well.
Well, at least it's men too. Like they can just buzz it if they have to.
Right,
A woman's hair, you're like, oh, you might ruin her life for a year.
I may have a few of them.
Have you? I want to hear about those.
Well, nothing terrible, but I really was like, yeah, I want to do men's hair. And there was a guy that had came to the school, and I can't even remember his name now, but he had been working for American Crew as an educator, and he came to the school to do, you know, to teach a class. He did a demonstration, and I'm sitting there the whole time like, and when I saw the finished product, I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And you know, I was like, I think that's what I want to do. I mean, I liked cutting hair behind the chair. Like I enjoyed it, but I was like, since I know now there's more that you can do.
It's
like,
you can be an artist with it, right?
I want to shoot to the top. That's what I like to try to be the best at everything I can do. And when I saw that, I was like, that's what I want. So I started focusing on that. Long story short, basically, American Crew ended up reaching out to me to see, like, they saw some of my work and they were like, we like your work. They knew I had training from American Crew before. They invited me out to Miami for a week with like 40 other people.
No shit.
And then we get there, everybody's been doing hair there for like 10, 20 years, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, at this point, when they invited me, I'd only been licensed for like 7 months. And I was just like, okay, bring the A game.
Yeah.
You know? And I did. They ended up inviting me to, where'd they invite me? They invited me to New York, and we sealed the deal as far as signing a contract to become one of their educators. And it was kind of off to the races. And, you know, I was doing more of that before I was even cutting behind the chair, like in a salon or a barbershop. Yeah.
It always amazes me when I talk to people like you guys to, you know, because when I think of a barber, I think, oh, this person that just opened a shop and they run solo, you know. And it's cool to hear that there's like a community and events and like there's this whole group that
for sure
hair
like,
people.
Thankfully, the internet has exposed that because it's a really cool. It's I feel that the hair industry is like a super cool industry. Tons of artistry, you know, tons of just creative people.
Everybody needs a haircut, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's not ever going away.
Every human.
And then you learn there's a lot more to it. Like, how do people continue to get better at hair? By learning from other people. So that's where these trade shows come in effect. That's where salons like reach out to bigger artists per se to come to the salon, teach what they know about business, hair, etc. You know. It's a very cool industry. I've been in it about 9 years now, and I've actually had quite a few ups and downs too. Some deep downs and some pretty high highs.
Let's get into that. Actually, let's get into this rosé first.
So
I forgot to open this at the beginning. Cali Rose, 19 Crimes. Wait, oh, it's rosé, right?
Yeah, rosé.
So you're a wino, huh?
I am. Yeah. I grew up in a household where, you know, my parents were also a fun time.
Is that right?
Yeah. But long story short, I went to like a wine tasting event one time, and I hadn't really ever been into wine previously. And at the wine tasting event, it was like a charity, and I had a business at this point, and my business was one of the sponsors of the event. I was like, all right, we'll go. And anyways, we got a little tipsy on the wine, and I was like, man, I like this stuff. And there's tons of different wines. Rosé, I like it's like a summertime wine. It's a little
light, crisp. You know, I'm going to be completely honest. I've never had rosé, I don't think, in my life.
Let's take a drink. Cheers,
Let's take a drink. Yeah, cheers, sir. Oh, yeah.
So it's a bit like sweeter and stuff.
It is sweeter. It's light.
Yeah. I wouldn't call myself like a wine expert, but I would probably say it's my like drink of choice
Yeah?
for sure. Yeah.
Wine is a fun drunk. When
Yeah.
you get drunk off wine, you know?
Oh yeah.
The hangover is
Yeah.
not the best,
The
but
hangover, yeah, the next day is a little rough.
I can mess
but-
around with some wine.
Yeah, for sure.
I was laughing because I'm like, this Barber that's coming on is supposed to be this manly, like,
Yeah.
men's cuts, and
You'd
he's
think,
drinking
yeah.
rosé.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah.
But have you ever had this? This is the 19 Crimes Cali Rosé with Snoop Dogg on it.
I haven't had this rosé, but 19 Crimes actually makes it quite a few different wines like Cabernets, Merlot, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've had quite a bit of them.
I have too. I like 19 Crimes a
Yeah.
lot. That's why I picked this one.
Yeah. No, it's a good pick for sure.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Got Snoop on the face of it right here.
Yeah, he's on I think a couple of the bottles.
Of 19 Crimes?
Yeah, of 19
Oh,
Crimes.
really?
Yeah, they must have a deal or something.
Snoop Dogg's a guy everybody likes, man. You can't go wrong putting him on something.
Yeah, he's just globally marketable.
Nobody's going to ever be like, I'm not buying that because Snoop's on there.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, you know his face and voice when you hear it and see it.
Right. Well, speaking of social media and stuff, I think that your industry is definitely one of the biggest ones that's been influenced and benefited from
Yeah.
social media because
For sure.
you go through TikTok or Instagram Reels or any of that stuff, and you always come across barber videos where people are doing these clean, fresh cuts, straight razor in their beards and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I found you. Is my cousin is Cole Weatherby,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I saw him post something of you giving him a haircut.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, this guy's good. I got to get this guy on my
Yeah,
podcast.
for sure.
Because I've been wanting to talk to a barber for a while.
So, kind of my method always, like in a basic sense, has been even like right now, I'm really moving towards doing like reels. So, like, nothing more than 30 seconds
Yeah.
of like a before shot, and then a few like, little shots of me using the clippers, shears, whatnot, and then a finished shot. For a long time in the hair industry, it was, just pictures of finished haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
Which was great at the time, like you take pictures of your work and you grow, and like when you're growing and you can learn from your photos and stuff. However, it's just, the photos, people don't engage with them that much anymore since TikTok came out. So I've been recently like teaching myself how to edit videos, do the videography, and it's such a visual industry. I mean,
sure.
think about it. You go to a barber and or a hairdresser to look different, to look better, typically.
You want to walk out of there and feel clean.
Right.
Like, ooh,
So
look at me.
It kind of goes hand in hand, like the marketing with photos and or videos.
Because back in the day when we were kids, all you had was a magazine there on the table with pictures in it. And you would pick one, right?
Exactly, yeah. And now I have clients that come in and show me, I have tons of pictures of haircuts. They show me pictures of my haircuts, like, on different people that they want. And, the people I typically choose to be in the videos or photos are people that have good hair, first and foremost, and then also have, a face that's not hard to look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you need that Cole Weatherby face.
Yeah.
That sexy hunk.
You do need somebody good looking at the end of the day. Like, it may sound shallow, but
Yeah.
it's just the truth.
You don't want somebody...
I'm not going to have, like, I'm not going to put, like, just a troll.
Call
in
somebody
my photos
out.
Or videos. Yeah.
Call somebody out
I
here.
won't yet. We might get there. But
You want that hunk, that Cole Weatherby face.
yeah. You do need a good face, though. And you also need, like, the quality, too. And so I'm not with American Crew anymore. I want to definitely say that. And my non-compete is up. So now I educate for myself through the Men's Hairdresser LLC. And when I go and teach classes, and I do prefer a smaller, like more intimate class, I feel like the people that buy the tickets to that, they just get more out of it than if I was going on a stage with a microphone. I can't answer all the questions that way. In a smaller, intimate class, that's something I preach is Instagram is, it's a necessity if you're coming up as a hairstylist.
Sure, yeah. It's a
not
very
even-
powerful
yeah,
tool.
It's
for
not
you to
even
use.
negotiable. That should be a skill you have.
Is that in your class?
Yes.
Day one?
Day
Get an
one.
Instagram.
Oh, that's one of the first things we talk about before I even get into the haircut.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't get anybody in to do a haircut if nobody knows about you.
True,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I came up kind of weird. Like I came up with American Crew.
Yeah, tell me how you got started doing hair in the first place.
so I had graduated high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wasn't going to college. I knew I wasn't doing that. And I just started working construction right away. I knew something with my hands. Like I'm more of a visual learner, and I was like, I can learn that quick. I didn't have any business aspirations or anything like that. And then I don't even know who I was talking to, somebody that did hair, and I was like, I could be a barber. And I was living out in this small town at the time, and I would drive every morning on the way to go work my ass off at this construction job.
Yeah.
I would drive by this like old school barbershop, like old school small town barbershop, and this old guy was just sitting out there every day, just chilling on the bench, smoking cigarettes. And I'm sitting there like, that could be me. I could do that.
Hell
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then I'm like, and I'm good at talking to people. Always have been, social and stuff like that. I'm like, that could be the move. The more people I talked to that actually were in the industry were like, oh, no brainer, do it.
Yeah.
And so that basically, that's it. That sent me there. And, it's easier to like something when you're good at it, right? And I was just immediately good at it. Not everybody is, and it does. A lot of people, it takes time. But for some reason, I don't know. I just had the feel for it, or maybe like the taste for it, if you will.
Yeah, there's something to it. Like when I talk to people like you who are very precise and you love your precision lines and things that look as a barber, you need things to look as clean as possible. Mm-hmm. That's kind of something you're just born with, That's not something you really teach.
I wonder that too. Like I said, I had it right away. I think like as I progressed in hair, I always looked at other people's work. Like I'm a fan of a ton of barbers, a ton of hairstylists, and I love looking at their work and being like, oh, I like that. I would have done that differently. Maybe, like being a hard critic on yourself is very important, and I have always been. And so I think that also drove me to be better. When I was taught how to do hair, I was only taught one way, and it was like, this is the way or the highway.
In school?
Yeah, correct. And I would look at other people's stuff, and I'm like, why am I not as good? So to break it down, like I was really, really good at like cutting hair with shears and then styling it. I was ass with the clippers. I really was not great at doing fades, but I did make up for it with the other stuff like customer service, with the shear work, with the styling work, all that kind of stuff. And that went on for years. And I was known, I started getting known more online for like the cool styles, if you will, whenever that started coming into play. And I would always look at the clipper work on the photos and be like, oh, that looks like shit, and I'm sure other people did too, but whatever. And man, once I started educating, I you kind of have free reins. You just got to stay within a parameter. And most of my classes have always been about more or less like customer service and teaching your client how to like style their hair, because I can do the coolest haircut on somebody, but if they go home and they can't style it back up, what's the point?
That's what I was really bad about.
They're walking billboards.
Yeah.
And if if they can't make it look like you can, you've failed.
I'm really bad about that, styling my hair. Like I'm better off with shortcuts,
Yeah, for sure.
And luckily I joined the military right at the same time fades became so popular.
Yeah, perfect timing.
So I'm like, holy shit, everyone's rocking my haircut that I have to wear.
For sure, yeah, perfect timing. Yeah, the short fades came into play, and I had left crew, and the short fades were in, and I was really like teaching myself through trial and error, and also a lot of YouTube. And there's not much on YouTube, which I do want to get into later. There's not much on YouTube as far as learning that. There's not much on.
That's kind of surprising.
After you graduate school, it's very hard to learn anything in hair for free. And so me personally, when I got my license, I went to a salon, and it was under like what's called booth rent. So I rent a chair. I'm my own boss. I had my own LLC. And when you do that, you're betting it all on yourself, because there's in pretty much every booth rent salon there's no walk-in clientele. You got to go out and get your clientele. But I already knew, like, I just had the confidence, like, I'm going to take advantage of the internet. That's how I'm going to do it.
Well, that's the most important tool you can use right now.
Yeah, and it has been for years, and people are getting a lot better at it for sure.
Because it was a different story at being a barber in 1980.
Yeah, so I want to say like 2015 or 16, one of the two. I knew a guy that was doing like videography and, really like pretty high quality looking stuff. And I had befriended him, and I was, I had the idea of shooting, like in my head, the idea was something in between a hair commercial video and a music video, like something to, it's hard to explain, but
something to hype people up.
Yeah, kind of, more or less to get business.
Yeah.
And so I actually ended up spending some money hiring the videographer. I wrote out scripts for how I wanted the video to play out. I had like my best looking people come in, and I started shooting videos of like hype videos of the haircuts. And dude, I started getting like 10,000 views on the videos, and I'm like, and then I see my business picking up, and I'm like, oh, this is the move. At the time, I had just taught myself photography too, so I was like taking photos of haircut, which is what was in at the time.
Right.
And my business really started picking up. I was 21, I think, and I was in the salons in our city at the time. There wasn't a lot of like hip barbershops. It was mostly like ethnic barbershops and then old school white guy barbershops. And I was like, I would like to blend kind of everything together. And so I actually went out and I got a business loan. I opened up a men's hair studio with 4 chairs. I got the chairs filled in there, and we started, I did a lot of content in there and like really learned a lot about that and like how it brings in business.
So you saw direct results from doing these videos and stuff?
Immediately,
results.
Yeah. And this is something I preach to people, like that story is a story I tell to, probably every class I teach. You
don't want it to keep growing forever though, right? Because you can only cut so many people's hair in one day.
So yeah, so in hair, like if you think about it like this, like if I'm like right now I'm charging like $40 a haircut, which is pretty good in the Midwest. So if I'm charging $40 a haircut and I got 40 hours a week that you can book an appointment, if those 40 hours are getting booked so quick, like I got a ton of people complaining they can't get in, right? Well, then it's time to raise the price, because I'm gonna lose some people when I raise the price, but then I'm not making any less, because
so that's how
then the
it
people
works.
can get in. Yeah, that's how you.
It's not like a Walmart where you can just keep growing bigger and bigger because you're the guy that has to be cutting the hair since people want to see you.
That's one facet of it. The other facet is, if you do it correctly, you're really trying to. I'm not so much trying to grow my business as I'm trying to grow my brand, right?
And your prices. That's how you really make it as a barber.
For sure.
I never even thought of that. That's crazy.
Every day, yeah, that's what you want to do. My end goal is probably quite a bit different than most barbers, but yeah, that's how you want to build. If you want to make the most cutting hair behind the chair every day, fill your books to where it's like, oh shit, you're booked out for like 2 to 3 weeks, which is pretty good for men's hair. And then I got to raise the price $10. You're going to lose people for sure.
It. Yeah.
It's the people you want to lose.
I love it.
Right? You don't want the cheap people.
That was one of my biggest, things that I was curious about, was how you keep growing yourself and how you really make it. But that makes sense now. I've never considered that.
Yeah. That's how you evolve in the shop or salon, like while you're inside of it. I'd like to evolve a little bit differently as far as like the online goes. Like I said, I have a really strong background in education, and I said earlier, you can't educate. It's very hard to educate yourself in hair unless you pay money to go to these shows or classes and stuff. Man, when I first started in hair, I wanted to learn so bad. I would obsess, dude. I was on YouTube for hours every night, falling asleep to it, looking for shit to listen to and or look at. And there's nothing, and there's still not much.
Why don't you make a YouTube channel?
So Here comes when I opened up my barbershop. I started the YouTube channel and mostly just put like the hype videos on it.
Oh, you already started one?
This has been years, yeah.
Oh,
years
I gotta
ago.
follow it, man.
And it's been I mean, it's still up. It's just been inactive for some years, and I'll get to that. But
okay.
So I put the hype videos on it, and I didn't understand YouTube as much either at the time. But then in the place I owned, we started a podcast, like pretty high level production, similar to this. I think you guys probably have better production, but I mean,
think so?
Yeah, but pretty similar. And I didn't understand how to grow the YouTube or really what like my vision was with it. To be honest, I was just like, let's just do it. It's
You're just
fun.
kind of playing around.
We're having fun. It was.
Yeah.
I go by the men's hairdresser. It was called the men's hair drinker. We had guests on. We drank. You know, it was a good time.
Damn.
That was kind of all
I like that concept.
Yeah, that's all I was going for. Is a good time. But then now I'm kind of in a space where like I do think back a lot to when I was trying to learn and how damn near impossible it was, specifically in the Midwest, because you know all these shows and stuff like that, they're out in New York, Chicago, this kind of LA, and man, when I had first started, I just didn't have, like, I was working for myself. I didn't have the money to spend to like learn.
Right.
You know, it was like a lot of it made my life a lot harder not being able to find free education.
Yeah.
So, you know, coming soon, I am currently filming a lot of different haircuts, teaching how to do them in a very technical way. I don't believe there's a right or wrong way to do anything as long as you get a good result. But, you know, the education is extensive in these videos.
These are going to be free videos for people online?
Free.
On YouTube?
Free on YouTube for
love
free. I'm not charging anybody. Nobody should have to pay to learn how to make money. It's how I feel.
Think about all the other industries out there where people can find free YouTube videos and learn how to do it.
Exactly. And all these like big hair companies, man, they are out here just trying to make money, you know, and that's fine. I get that, but not at the cost of young barbers and young hairdressers trying to learn. You know what I mean? I feel like they're taking a bit of advantage of people. And for me personally, I didn't have the money to go and learn everything under the sun.
You did have the money to go to barber school though, right?
Yeah, cosmetology school, yeah.
Cosmetology school.
You know, you can get government assisted loans and stuff like that. You know,
it's just like normal college then?
It's more similar to like a trade school.
Okay.
Because it is a trade.
How long is it in total?
It's an hours based thing. Cosmetology and barbering, I believe in Kansas, I believe they're the same, and it's either 1,200 or 1,500 hours, one of the two. Basically,
so it's like a pilot's license kind of, where you have to have so many hours before you're licensed.
Yeah, a lot like that.
And then you have to have a license before you can actually practice it, right?
Correct. Practice it in a facility and make money on it legally.
If you want to do it in your garage, no one's going to stop you.
I mean, yeah, you know, no one
for cash.
Yeah,
until the government finds out.
Correct.
Like, oh, we need a cut of that.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you know, I think there's 5 different hair schools in Wichita now that they're accredited programs. So you can get different type of loans to go to the school. Now, when you go to these schools, this is another thing about them, man. They're full-time jobs. You clock in at 9 and you clock out at 4:30 or 5.
Really?
For 5 or 6 days a week. 5 or 6 days a week. You know, and it takes up a lot of time.
So it's not something you can do if you're working a side job or a
main
main job, I guess.
Yeah, if you're working a 9 to 5, you're gonna have to figure something else out if you want to go to one of these schools for sure.
Do you make anything while you're doing this?
So you can make how you learn is these schools have customers. Now the customers come there because all the services are half, or if not more than half of the price that it would be to go get it at any other. You know what I mean? So it's like you can imagine the type of.
There's people probably that are looking for a cheap cut.
I mean, it's just trash can people, you know?
Yeah. But lucky for them.
That makes you better, though. You know, like, it does build up some mental toughness, because when you're dealing with people, like, you're right in their grill, you're touching them. You know, if you fuck somebody up,
I wanted to ask you that too. What happens when somebody looks at you and they're like, "This looks like shit"? Have you had that happen?
Oh, yeah. Not so much with men's hair, to be honest. Like I just had a great grasp on that, but I did women's hair for years and on and off for years, I'd say.
That was a lot tougher crowd.
It's a lot different. And, for me, luckily, like, I always tried to use, like, charm and humor to try to ease the situation, but that's not the case for everybody. And, yeah, man, you can be put in some awkward situations, some very not fun situations. I've had times where, even, like, small mistakes that could be easily fixed, you're not educated enough to know they can be easily fixed. You're sitting there like, oh fuck, I ruined this person's life. Man, I've telling you, when I was in school, I did mess up a few people, and bro, I was drenched in sweat, like freaking out, like anxious, because nobody wants to disappoint anybody.
No,
and when you do, it's especially like you're right there with them, looking in the mirror with them. So you can imagine it's pretty awkward.
Do you remember your first big fuck up?
I'm trying to remember. Like I do remember like one of the first like 10 men's haircuts I did. I had the wrong blade on a clipper, and there was supposed to be a lot of like a longer blade on the clipper. Wasn't on there. There was a really short blade.
Oh fuck!
I scalped this motherfucker, and you just had to like. What can you do? It's like all you can tell your customer is, "Hey, look, here's our options now.
Like, this is my touch that I put on you
for sure." But that's kind of what you get when you go to a school. They're learning, and stuff like that. As far as like in the professional world, not that I can think of right now. I know there is probably a few, and like what I would do in that situation is, and I can do this since I've always worked for myself, is it's free. We're gonna get you looking as good as we can and no charge.
Yeah, that's a good way to counteract.
But man, I'm telling you, yeah.
But sometimes they're probably still like, well, now I got to look like shit for 2 weeks.
For sure, yeah. They'll never come back either, But you already know that when you're...
It's a risk you take, I guess.
Man, it's part of learning.
It's part of life,
And that's what I encourage people to make mistakes. Personally, like, throughout my career and my life in general, I've learned the most valuable things through my mistakes.
Yeah. Embrace them and learn from them and don't let it happen again.
I've never looked at anything as a loss. I've always looked at them as lessons.
That's a good perspective, man.
Yeah. It's hard to stay that way sometimes, especially when you really fuck up.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you do shaves too? Like straight shaves and stuff?
So fast forward, like I had that barbershop, and that's around the same time I started really traveling with American Crew. And, it wasn't working. I was gone too much. And I had a guy that was renting a chair from me, and he was like 2 years into hair. His wife had been doing hair for a while, but his name was Joe Andra. And I told him, I was like, I don't want this place anymore. I want to sell it. And I want you to make me an offer because I want to sell it to you. I knew out of everybody, I'm like, this guy's he's the real deal. Yeah. And like, him and I had a certain friendship. I also we had a lot of respect for each other. And I also, I knew his goals, and I knew that, this is going to help him get there. And long story short, he made the offer. He bought the place. He bought the social medias, which were big.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Changed the name of it, and he's doing his thing right now. It's called Ruffian's Barbershop. He's really doing his thing.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
That's a place where you drink whiskey and stuff.
Yeah.
I've heard of that. So
that's kind of. It started out. We started drinking there when I had it, and then when he took it over, he really like kind of honed everything in.
That's dope.
When I had it, I was like 21, 22, and I was a wild kid.
Yeah.
I had been traveling the United States, partying in the biggest cities in America. Like really.
You were fucking living.
I was doing the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Freaking. All sorts of stuff that probably can't even talk about.
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah. And sold it to him, and then I was just, after that I really didn't know if I wanted to do hair anymore. Like I had lost some passion. And then right when that started, I started feeling like that. like COVID had hit and no one could even do hair anymore. And I had really just like...
Yeah, that was some weird shit, wasn't it? You
Yeah.
couldn't even get a haircut because you were non-essential.
Yeah, correct. And I really like lost some passion, you know, and like... and then I also, at the same time, I found out I'm having a daughter. You know, some crazy things were happening to me. And, you know, long story short, I started try to kind of get back into women's hair. And, you know, immediately pretty decent at it, like very good at professionalism, things like that. And I was still waiting on my non-compete contract with American Crew to be up at this time. And doing the women's hair, and I'm just unhappy, you know. And personally, I won't live unhappy. I refuse to. I know, like, we're in America, man. There's ways to be happy.
Do whatever you want.
I do feel that way, mostly. And anyways, I left this salon, and I'm sitting here like, you know what? I'm going to double down on this men's hair shit. Like, really double down on it. My friends had opened up a barbershop. It's where I'm at now. It's called Wichita Barber Company. They had acquired, like, I mean, some of the better talent around Kansas and, in my opinion, the Midwest. And I was like, I want to come there. They put a station in for me, and I came there, and we started rocking and rolling. We're 2 years in there.
So you work for a company with multiple barbers?
So, like, how it works is, like, that booth rent kind of style I was telling you about. So, like, I rent a chair you know, it's like a weekly booth rent, monthly, however you want to do it. And... yeah, like you run your own business.
And your
like,
clients, like,
so like they come
choose you specifically or whatever?
Yeah, like you go get your own clients. There's some, you know, there's people that come to the shop.
Just walk in and they're like, hey, I need a cut.
Yeah, you know, whoever takes care of them, you know, if you can keep them as a client, great.
Yeah.
And like how I run mine, like I have an LLC and an S Corp. You know what I mean? So like we all have that.
So you're all your own individual businesses.
We're all our
much.
own entities.
Yeah.
Correct. And we all do different things. And like where my space is, where I'm trying to really go right now is what we were talking about with the YouTube, the education.
I love that, man.
You know, I'm pretty busy as a barber. Just like, you know, I've been doing it around Wichita.
Are you working like 40 hours a week?
More than that, yeah. Actually, I'm kind of a person, I really like embrace the grind. And so when I decided I wanted to get back into, I really wanted to like.
You're just like, fuck it, I'm going all in.
I want to bite the bullet. Yeah, definitely, yeah. If we're playing poker, I'm going all in. That's just the kind of person I am. And I was like, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go hard. And that's kind of where I'm at now. And I've kept for the last year, I've been open 7 days a week. You know, I work probably 60 to 70 hours, I think. I'd have to go count for sure.
No,
somewhere around there. I still get in at the gym. I still get it, you know, still get a lot of time with my daughter. Like, you know, just kind of trying to manage my lifetimes better. But like, as far as the work goes, I knew I had to take a little hiatus from men's hair and like passed off all these clients to Joe and his barbershop. And
did you ever regret that?
Maybe right at first, but like I knew right away. All right. I knew right away. I'm like, oh, well, I've done it once. I'll do it again. You know what I mean? And that was kind of my thought. However, when I was like, I'll do it again, the internet had changed a little bit. And so it wasn't as easy as taking pictures and it wasn't that easy.
It was a different world.
Yeah. So like,
it moves quickly.
Then you saw kind of like you said earlier, like the video, you know,
your Instagram.
It was that kind of stuff that really like helps out. Just being a lot more active online and really like putting the hours in, you know, like, I mean, Sunday through Sunday, dude. You know what I mean?
Those are the secrets to success, you think, in an industry like yours?
I think any industry that you are trying to like really like come up through your own name, like you don't have somebody making your hours, you know, if work as much as you can and keep a really like strong mind about it. Because do I want to get up and go to work every day? No. Do I want to go to the gym after working 10 hours a day? No. But
I don't want to go to the gym at all.
Yeah, I mean, who really does? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end, but
it's one of those things you got to force yourself to do.
It's just like a discipline. And when I really applied some discipline to my life,
you saw direct results.
Yeah, and not immediately, but yeah, little by little, direct results. And now, you know, I mean, I came over there like a little over a year ago with, and I had some money at this point to put behind my marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, relatively speaking, my pockets were kind of empty. And now, you know, I'm sitting here a year later with you, you know, pockets are full, feeling great.
Yeah.
Still grinding hard.
Yeah.
And, you know, really like found my vision. Really what I wanted to do, you know, which is what I was talking about with the YouTube stuff. Like,
I hope you incorporate all of this right here
yeah.
into your teaching style, because it's
yeah.
important for people to know all of these little points.
Yeah.
Because you can be the best barber in the world, but if you don't put in the grind and the effort and the online presence,
For sure.
it's not gonna. You're not gonna get the direct success that you had.
Yeah. Nothing happens in the world without hard work, determination, and discipline.
Yeah.
I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy to think like how quickly the internet's changed too. You know, 5 years ago, it was way easier to make content for your business.
Oh yeah.
And that's just 5 years ago. I don't even know what the next 5 years is looking like.
It's just getting so oversaturated, you know, because more people are catching on.
It's
This
crazy,
younger
too.
generation gets older. They grew up on this stuff, so
They're better at it.
Yeah, they're better at it.
Yeah.
They know the look that you want, and
You really gotta like dedicate time to learning.
Yeah.
Like for you, like you're doing some YouTube stuff. You gotta dedicate that time to learn YouTube.
you have
it's
to.
not
Yeah,
easy.
which I was clueless at
you
the
know?
beginning.
And I'm still dedicating time to. It's not easy.
The most important thing that I found for content creation that I've learned, and you know, this might differ from something like you're doing. I don't really know, but consistency is the biggest factor.
Yep.
Being consistent, doing this every single week, or in your case, maybe every day, or whatever it might be. Just keeping that consistency where your viewers know that, and especially like YouTube, their algorithm, or you know, I'm on Spotify and Apple and stuff. The algorithm catches that, and they realize, okay, this guy's been pumping out episodes for 2 years now.
Yeah.
He's somebody we can trust, and we can push his content on other people. So
Glad you said that. Yeah. Like you really have to, like, no matter, just keep going, no matter what. And you know, I'm sure that you have it. I know that I have it, but there's a way to train yourself to have almost a delusional self-belief. And I have always believed you have to have a little bit of delusional self-belief to really make it where you want to.
I agree with that.
I really believe that. I mean, you know, you do got to like hone in your delusions, because we all do have delusions. Every human on earth has them, but you got to hone them in. If you can do that, you know, you're on the right path.
Yeah.
I think.
Having a delusion like me that people want to listen to my voice, when in reality they probably fucking don't.
But they probably do. You know what I mean?
But then they probably do, yeah. So
Yeah.
you have these self-doubts, but at the same time, you're like, hopefully somebody does enjoy this and like it. I agree with that 100%. That's almost the same thing as like faking it till you make it, or putting it out into the universe that this is what I'm going to be,
Yeah,
like
you gotta
law of
manifest
attraction
that
type
shit.
stuff. Yeah.
You know, I would tell people, like I said, I was 20 years old, like, I mean, less than 2 years into hair. And I'm sitting here telling everybody I know, I'm going to open up, like, because what I wanted to open up didn't exist yet. There's more than 10 of them now, but when I wanted to do it, it didn't exist. And I'm sitting here telling people, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And you fully believed that.
and
you weren't
yeah.
just talking shit.
Oh, fully believed it. And my own parents looked at me like, this kid okay? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's going on? And I really personally never have given a shit what people thought about me, particularly online. And so I just went hard in the paint, dude. Like, I mean, as hard as you could go, and continuing to like tell myself what I'm gonna do. You know, like, it was what I wanted. Whatever I wanted, I would told myself I'm going to do that. And I mean, I don't know many people that are 21 opening up a business, making it successful.
And they're that dedicated and that on board with themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear that same story from people that are already,
Yeah.
you know, in that point where they've made it. Mm-hmm. You hear that all the time from people that have been tremendously successful in whatever they did. They have the same mentality that you did, where they're like, I didn't give a shit what people thought. I was like, I'm doing this, you know, fuck off.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, I've been guilty of this. Like, I wanted everything overnight, and I still do.
Yeah.
Now I know that, like, I know that's so far from reality, but at the time, dude, I was grinding so hard because I'm like, I'm going to get this tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt. And I carried that attitude with me. But I didn't give up. You know, I really I went so hard. I pulled, you know, even one of my best friends, he had no interest ever in becoming a barber. I had got him convinced, bro, we're fucking going to barber school. You're getting the license.
You drug one of your buddies in with you?
He went to the barber school, got a license, and helped me open the business.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, just that kind of stuff. I'm talking almost crazy delusional.
That's a good mentality to have as long as you don't quit because you don't get overnight success.
That's the thing. That's where it was there was many days where I'm I just, maybe it's not gonna happen, and I will look at myself in the mirror and tell myself shut the fuck up. No, we're doing this. You know, you're doing this. I think anybody anywhere can, as long as they believe they can do it, they can make it happen. It may not be as easy as you think, you know, but it's gonna happen. And yeah, like you said, with the consistency thing, now with the internet, not even just Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that.
Do you have a TikTok?
I do, yeah.
I was gonna say that's a big one to have now.
I'm kind of learning that more. I've been using it just to laugh at stuff, you know. But now that I'm doing more hair stuff with it, I you know, everything's gearing towards this education lane I'm going towards for sure. But right now, I think on the TikTok and the YouTube, Instagram stuff, I'm really trying to just build a little more following before I go in and do this education thing, because I really would like this, what I do with the education thing, to reach as many people in this industry as possible, particularly people that are new in the industry, which I know I can't do that unless there's at least a little following behind it. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
And I do have I have a small one, but I'd like it to be a little bigger before I start putting out the education.
I do gotta ask, as far as being a white barber,
it's different, yeah.
Is that a weird deal, your clients and everything? Because people always think, you know, I need to go to a black barber, or, you know, there's different races and different ethnicities that like different dudes, you know? So what is that like being a white dude that cuts hair?
So it wasn't even a thought at all at the beginning, because I was in the salons, which I was basically just in there with a bunch of you know, middle-aged white women. And I was.
Did you get hit on quite a bit?
Yeah, a lot, all the time. Yeah, especially in hair school. And
it's a good place to be if you want some cougars, folks.
Yeah, yeah, allegedly. And so, you know that. So what I was doing haircuts that I liked, which is at the time the pompadours and just, you know, cool white guy haircuts. And that was really hard to find somebody who could do it and do it at the level that I was at the time. Every other barbershop was it was either a Spanish barbershop or mostly a black barbershop.
Yeah. And
I mean, I knew this was gonna happen, but slowly but surely the hairdresser industry has blended with the barber industry. The barber is all about clean fades, fresh lines.
Right.
The hair industry is about big, loose style, stuff like that. It all kind of combined, which is the kind of barber I've always wanted to be. I want to blend the two.
Yeah. And
anyways, fast forward to a year ago, which was I had my barbershop, but it was all white guys in there, and I was teaching them what I know. But fast forward to a year ago, the barbershop I went into was you definitely every ethnicity walking in there.
Is that right?
I never cut a black dude.
You never had before that, or you
never had before that? Not really. Maybe is it
different?
1 or 2.
Because I know their hair is a lot different.
Yeah, it's way different as far as technique goes.
Yeah.
And I also had never used a straight razor because I'm a cosmetologist, and
I love watching those straight razor videos.
I just watched all the guys in there do what they do, and I had been experienced enough to just kind of copy and paste it, you know. Also, you know, I mean, so when I went there, I'm 8 years into hair, right? Still would go home every day and look up different ways to do stuff. Just try to find the videos, you know. They're not everywhere, but you can find some, and ask questions. I've never been too big to learn something, you know. Even I'll be on a stage teaching 5,000 people, and someone will ask me a question that somehow I learn something from it. You know what I mean?
That's an important thing to keep
I've
forever.
never been too big to learn anything.
Yeah.
Which is a good quality in hair, I believe. But yeah, it was definitely, you know, a learning curve, like, particularly like cutting a black dude's head versus like a white dude's head. It's just
their hair doesn't have the oil in it that white people have, right?
Well, not as much as that as it is like a different texture. Like curly hair and straight hair cut differently.
It's real curly.
Differently. Yeah, like you put. Yeah, I may or may not have fucked a few people up learning it. You know.
Have you found that a lot of black dudes like to go to black barbers only for that reason?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now the barbershop I'm in though, like everybody that's in there was working in kind of like a black barbershop. So like they're all good at it. I was definitely the weak link when we started. Now for sure not. I'm solid, very good at it. And that's on purpose. But yeah, there was a stigma for a long time. Like white dudes didn't want to go to the black barbershops because like the black barbers, they thought the black barbers didn't know what they were doing. Right. And vice versa. Yeah. And there may have been some truth to that, but I'm telling you now, like, it's all mixed in together. And if you...
And you really put in the effort to learn it, too.
You have to, yeah. And not just me, though. I'm talking tons of people put in the effort to learn it. And that's where I think, again, like, Instagram, stuff like that helped because nobody gave a shit until they saw other people making money doing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Money's a big motivator to people, and they saw it.
Some would say the biggest motivator to people.
Yeah,
right?
I would say, yeah. For a lot of people, for sure. It's a huge motivator to me. You know, I have a little girl that's going to be 2 coming up. And so obviously, like finances are important when you have children.
For sure, yeah.
You know, you want to provide them the best life. So, yeah, money's, you know, I've been to countless, like barber trade shows, hairdresser trade shows. I can confidently say like money's probably the biggest motivator for everybody. Yeah.
It seems that way, definitely, when you look around at the world. Have you ever dealt with anybody's hair that's like disgusting?
Yeah, man.
That's always, I think about it all the time when I'm getting a haircut. I'm like, man, I hope my hair doesn't smell like shit or I have lice or something.
So that was like a thing for me going into hair school, and everybody going into hair school. Like they're, you know, you're not used to just digging your hands into people that you don't know, right?
You shouldn't be anyways, if you're not a barber.
If you are, I have questions for you. And no, but that was weird. But also at the hair schools, like I said, it's half the price of everywhere licensed.
Yeah, so you get some people in
there.
there.
You can imagine
probably
what kind of clientele it brings in, and it's not great.
Yeah.
And I'll come out and say it right now. The worst clients you'll ever get are in hair school. They're cheap. They want it a certain way, even though they don't want to pay for it. And yeah, a lot of dirty people.
I can see that, yeah. That definitely makes sense.
But yeah, like dirty wise though, I would say more like smell freaks me out.
Yeah, like have you ever had somebody's head that's just like, ooh, it's fucking gross?
I've sent people away actually.
Have you really?
Yeah. Not in Kansas, but yes.
And you tell them to their face, your hair smells like shit.
Yeah, I'm just like, look, there's certain hygiene protocols and then I'm kind of fib a little bit. Like there's certain hygiene protocols I have to follow. Yeah. And you're not up to date with it. If you want a haircut, here's what you have to do. You have to be professional.
It's the political way to say your hair smells like shit, dude.
Yeah. Basically, the only other one that's like that will kind of freak you out is lice, but it doesn't freak people that do hair out, because the thing about lice is they only attach themselves to the cleanest environment. So like lice, if you have a dirty ass head, you're good. You're not getting lice.
Really?
Yeah. People don't know that, but yeah, you would think opposite, but yeah, no.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what they attach to the cleanest of scalps.
Something that I've recently started doing, just because I've heard from other people and seen this online trend that you're not supposed to wash your hair every day.
Yeah.
Because I was doing that, you know, my whole life as a kid and stuff. You just buy like whatever, Axe or
3-in-1, baby.
Irish
You
Spring.
know,
Yeah, 3-in-1. Yeah,
for sure. Same.
So
Yeah.
I've been getting more into like only washing every other day or every 3 days or whatever.
That's good practice to keep. What that does when you put anybody that puts a decent shampoo on their head, what the shampoo's doing, it's cleaning your head, right? It's also like opening up the cuticle in your each little hair, stripping it of the natural oil. The natural oil is good for the hair. So when you do that every single day, like you continuously strip oil off something, and then the oil's not catching up.
Right.
And so then it dries you out. That's where you start seeing people with dandruff or like dry hair. The hair's not doing what you want.
Which my fix was always buy the dandruff shampoo.
And also, there can be some hair loss from that. So that's
that's the scariest one for me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I got some bald people in the family, so.
Oof. Yeah. With what do you recommend though? Like as far as washing your hair,
for men?
Yeah.
Every 2 days.
Every 2 days.
Yeah, I would say, and also like lifestyle depends a lot upon that.
Yeah.
Like if you're like me, like I get the gym every day and I sweat my ass off, right? Like you would want to wash your hair.
You definitely,
would think.
At least with water, at the very least.
So what I do is I rinse it out pretty good. Sometimes I'll like take a real small dab of conditioner, and just so there's no like sweaty smell. But yeah, I mean, me personally, like I do once a week. That's
what I hear.
And the women you see that have like the best hair, they're once a week, once every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's just how it goes. There's dry shampoos and things like that.
I was freaked out at first when I remember when I started doing this, like, okay, I'm not going to wash my hair today. I was like, oh my God, it probably smells like shit. People are probably, because I was an everyday type of guy for my whole life.
For sure.
But now I'm kind of used to it, and I'll just do hot water every other day or whatever. And it seems to be working out fine. My hair feels a little better. It's more like luscious,
For sure.
It's not oily. Like when you first come off of shampoo every day, it gets a little oily or something.
Right away, yeah. You got to get used to it.
It's overcompensating really for all those years.
Your body gets used to the way you treat it.
Yeah.
Whatever way you're treating it.
Yeah. But you got to think, like, shampoo, that's such a modern thing. That was never the way we did stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that, yeah. Especially for men now, like, posting what I post and stuff, I get guys that care about their hair.
Yeah.
And so that's where I really come in, and I preach this to barbers and stylists. Like, you got to educate your clients, okay? So, like, if you come in to get a haircut, I can do the best haircut on you. If you don't know how to style it when you get home, I failed. If you don't know how to take care of it when you get home, I've also failed. I feel like when you go to a hairdresser or a barber, it's almost like a doctor for your hair. That's how I feel about it. Like,
I like that.
They should be able to tell you damn near everything you want to know about your hair and about your scalp. And I've looked at it that way for the last 9 years.
I mean, why wouldn't it be? When you go to a tailor,
exactly,
they fit you, they dress you, and they say you need to roll your cuffs when you're doing this. You need to.
Like if this was Great Clips, it'd be different. Get in, get out. But this is not. You're paying quite a bit for a haircut, and you should get your money's worth, I think.
Well, that's the thing. People look at you or some other barbers and they say, why would I pay that much money for a haircut when I could go to Great Clips?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Because you're getting a totally different experience.
People have messaged me that for years.
You're never going to see a Great Clips haircut or an artist or whatever you want to call them, hairdresser, on an Instagram reel or a TikTok reel because nobody gives a shit. You're just using a buzzer, right? Clippers.
Pretty much.
But when they watch your stuff on Instagram, they're like, wow. Because that's what I said when I saw my cousin's haircut on there. I was like, damn, this guy's doing some shit.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's kind of the goal with it, though, is like really to like maybe pop some eyes. And like, it may look like my goal right now is like pop some eyes to get clients. I'm good on clients, but I always love new ones. I love meeting new people. My goal is to get bigger online, introduce my education for free to everybody that needs and wants it.
Build a YouTube channel, dude. If there's a hole in the market, like you said, and it truly is that.
Because there is online education for sure. I think the cheapest one's probably $1,200 and you learn, I don't know, fucking 3 haircuts.
Yeah.
And I just sit here and like, I get it. I get why they do that for sure. I know they're going to be pissed when I come and give it away for free, but I don't give a shit because I never forgot where I was at in the beginning. I think a lot of people have. I haven't. I struggled to learn. I didn't go to a barber school. I didn't even learn how to use clippers correctly until I had to trial and error teach myself, which ended up costing me a lot of money, to be just the time wise, because time is money, right? And it ended up costing me a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of headache, things like that. I'm like, no, I want to give back. I want to make sure like people have what they need resource wise for free. And like, I will be honest with everybody, I have ulterior motives to that for sure. Like, I'm probably going to make some money on YouTube. Yeah. But I won't ever charge anybody as far as like, if you want to go online and learn how I do what I do, learn how a lot of people do what they do, you're going to learn it for free.
Yeah.
That's how, and I feel like it's
badass. I
feel like it should, it should and shouldn't be that way.
But if there is a real hole like you're talking about, where you can't just get on YouTube and learn all these techniques and stuff, and you fulfill that, and you make your videos and people like it, and they look as clean as your haircuts, you're definitely gonna make some money. Because there's a guy that I know, well, my buddies know him, and he does beards. That's all he does, like beard oils and beard trims and stuff. And
what's his name?
I can't even remember. I should know that. If he's listening, I hope that he comes on here sometime. Yeah. But he's making a lot of money on YouTube, to get to the point. And that's only because he took this hole that he found that wasn't there, and believe it or not, there's a ton of people out there that want to listen to you, and they have the same kind of interest as you. And when you do that and you put it out there, it's amazing the following you can get, the money you can make from doing it. Like the stuff that you're talking about doing, I think that's a great idea for you to make a YouTube channel. Yeah,
that's the thing. The first and foremost idea was like, how can I help everybody skip past the phase that I had to stay in for like however many years of learning.
Right.
Like, how can we make that quicker? Because I, to this day, just sit here and like, man, that was bullshit. How hard it was for me to just have to learn. Bro, I would go into local barbershops and just sit there and just ask questions.
No shit.
So I've been kicked out of some just for like sitting there because I'm not getting a haircut. I'm just asking the barber questions. Like, that's how far I was taking it.
You were grinding.
I would take everything far, but I didn't know what else to do.
That's some real shit right there.
I didn't have the money to go fly to New York and learn. So
that's something a famous millionaire or billionaire would say. Yeah. I used to go to barbershops and sit there.
And by the way, for you and everybody listening, I'm still not too big to go do that. I will still go to a barbershop. If I see somebody that's doing something, then I'm like, how the fuck are you doing that?
Yeah.
I will go and shadow them. I don't care if they've been doing hair 1 year. I'll shadow you.
That's important to keep. And never lose that.
People get a big head. In the barber world, for sure, people got big heads. Like, they're the biggest deal ever. That's fine. I think that way sometimes about myself. I think we all do. But, like, life's humbled me, for sure. And I also humble myself. And, like, I will learn from anybody, anytime, anywhere. You know what I mean?
Don't ever lose that, man.
No, I don't ever want to.
Yeah. That's something that's super important that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
Some people make it
barely. No one's ever too big. You know what I mean?
A lot of people do, though. A lot of people make it barely, or they're just successful enough, or they're like, fuck everybody else, look at me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
See how it works. Teach their own.
I'm not looking at, I'm not worried about what's in 5 years. I'm kind of worried about what's in 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
That's always been my mind state, but especially, when you have a child, it's really where your mind goes. Like, what's happening in 20, 30 years?
Yeah.
Where do I want to end? Mm-hmm. And you got to start shooting for that. Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon. That's what I think.
That changes everything.
Yeah.
Cheers to you, man.
Cheers.
You're doing it right.
Appreciate it.
I gotta ask you, with the straight shaves, you use a straight razor now on people's necks, right?
Yes.
On their face.
Allegedly. So I don't have a license to do that. So you actually have to have a barber license.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So you in Kansas, and I think most states, you have to have a barber license to use a straight blade. I have a cosmetology license, and if I wanted a barber license, it would take me, I think, 12 or 1,500 hours to get it.
Wow.
Just to learn how to shave. So if the Kansas State Board is listening, Never used one. Don't know what to do.
Well, theoretically, if you did have a barber license and you were shaving people's necks, would you ever be afraid of cutting their neck?
So yeah, right when I was learning. So actually, my first appointment ever at this barber shop, this guy came in from out of town. I think he was like a coach of a team that was playing the Shockers, and he goes, "I need edged up. I need lined up." And I'll be honest, I barely knew what that was, and I went to try to do it, and it just, I mean, I had watched, oh, dude, I'm shaking bad, and I'm like, I had watched some shit on it before, and I kind of just did what I thought I had seen, and it got through it somehow, no cuts or whatever. But yeah, when I was really learning how to like master it and get quick at it, I cut a few people, not on the neck, mostly like up here on the beard. The neck though, I've always been like ultra careful. Also, something that really helped me learn was my dad shaves his head bald, and so he started coming in and just having me straight razor the head. That really helped me learn how to use a straight razor.
Okay.
And a lot of people do that shave their head bald. They come and get
Oh no, your dad's bald?
Well, I mean, now. At first, I think by choice, but yeah, we're ignoring that though. I don't even think about that. But no, the neck, I try to stay away from the razor unless it's like they really want it there.
I just picture like an old cowboy coming into town, he's like, shave me up.
And yeah, actually,
use the little brush.
Funny that you said that, because age does depend on it. Because like, if you're in your 70s, you have a lot looser skin down here.
Yeah, it's all wrinkly and shit.
You gotta pull it tighter. It was nerve-wracking a little bit, but at the same time, I had already been through teaching in front of thousands of people is like, my nerves have been tested as damn near as much as you can test them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't crazy terrible, but yeah, learning curve for sure.
I would just be nervous about leaving razor burn and stuff, because when I shave my own face sometimes.
So there's ways around that, like with the steps you take as far as like, using steam and or a hot towel, certain products you use, putting alcohol on after.
That sounds so satisfying, going through that whole process.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to it.
Because a lot of people just throw on Barbasol in the morning and use a 3-blade razor, but
sure.
going to a barber and getting that towel.
It's a lot different, yeah. It's more, and it's also, at the same time as it is a lot of different steps, it's also an experience.
Exactly, yeah.
At the very
it's almost like
day.
getting a pedicure or going to the spa, you know, like a woman does.
Yeah,
Man, you go in and get a shave.
That's the thing about barbershops I've always loved. Like my barbershop and the one I'm in, man, like as a guy, you walk in there, like, dude, everybody shooting the shit. Yeah. Everybody is like roasting each other.
It's like Gran Torino. Have you ever seen that movie?
It's a lot like that, actually.
Clint Eastwood.
It's very similar to that. More like new school, less racism.
Less racist.
But yeah, no, it's very similar to that. And like I've always loved that, because I'm a social person. I love working around funny people. Yeah. One of my favorite things outside of all this we've been talking about is stand-up comedy. So I love funny shit. And
we share the same interests there.
Yeah. So like, dude, the barbershop is as close as you can get to stand-up.
Yeah.
It really, weirdly, you get so many different characters in there, and, you start working with people long enough, you get to know them, you get to know their habits, you can make fun of that. It's a really good time, and it's also a place where you don't have to worry about, like, like I say, I've been trying to, like, hone it in on the podcast, but I do say a lot of, like, pretty wild shit sometimes. Yeah. And it's a place, you don't got to worry about being fucking canceled or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's almost, as long as there's no children or women in there, anything goes. Yeah. And I love that. And
you tell this old man his fucking scalp looks like shit.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, worse than that. But yeah.
You ever shave off somebody's mole?
I haven't, but I've seen it happen. And it can happen.
When I got into the military, we went to boot camp, and I remember, I'll never forget, our barbers were in there, and these are just some, when you're going to boot camp,
I've heard about these
barbers. It takes like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you sit down in this chair, and the first thing they say to you is, if you have a mole, point to it right now.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah. And I saw kids get their moles mowed off and blood coming down.
I've heard about these military barbers. They're a little rough.
They don't really care as much as you do.
Yeah, for sure. I'd imagine not, yeah.
Let's smash this bottle of wine. What do you say, man?
For sure. Appreciate it.
Being a barber, you kind of, like you were saying with your clients, it's kind of like having a friend. It's the same person that you see all the time.
It's more than that, man. Like,
they look forward to coming and seeing you and shooting the shit.
I look forward to seeing them, you know? Like, I got guys that have been coming to me for 9 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've built a relationship with these guys, you know, like, I've watched them, I've watched them in their happiest time. After, 10 years is kind of a lot, a lot can happen.
It's a big period of your life.
I've watched them be the happiest in their life. I've watched them at the lowest.
Yeah.
I've watched them, achieve their goals. I've watched them start businesses. Dude, I'm telling you, and I get motivated. My clients motivate me, and I don't know, maybe I'm just lucky, but I've had some clients that have really like done cool shit in their life, and it motivates me. But yeah, it's more than just a barber client relationship, man. It's like, and it's even more than a friendship. Man, I got close friends that I see, we get older. I only see them every so often.
Once a month, or even
I see these
less than
dudes
that.
every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, and
it's kind of like a bartender,
and it a lot like it. And it's like you're real, when you're real personal with somebody, when you're touching somebody, you'd be amazed the things that comes out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like people open up a lot. I've heard a lot.
They trust you.
I've heard shit I can't even repeat. But that's beside the point. But like.
Dude
really,
standing over you with a knife or a straight blade.
Something like that, yeah. But no, man, it's something that I didn't expect getting into hair. That's like one of like the better blessings in hair, I guess is a good way to put it.
It's a weird aspect that most people would never consider.
Very weird.
When they're getting into it.
But man, it's super cool. And I also meet so many different people. So like I've met people with the craziest stories. You know what I mean? Like whether it's like just crazy intriguing or like crazy inspirational or emotional or whatever it may be.
It's amazing how much people open up.
Yeah. I've also had like some super great like advice on not just business but like fatherhood and things like that. You know what I mean?
Have you ever had people try to tell you how to cut hair?
For sure. A lot. All the time, actually. Yeah.
You're like, bitch, you're in the seat, not me.
Yeah, that's what you want to say. No. I've always been pretty decent at keeping it professional when I get, like, flustered like that.
Yeah.
I've seen some people freak out, though, for sure. And I just sit back. That's funny. But, yeah. There's some people that can be pretty particular, and that just... comes with the territory.
It's humans being humans.
Especially, if you're trying to like be great at what you're doing, you're gonna receive some like backlash about what you're doing.
Yeah.
So like I always took it as like I tried to take it as constructive criticism.
This is expected.
Yeah.
People are gonna be doing this no matter what.
But don't get me wrong, like after you're cutting hair for 10 hours and somebody's sitting there like, no, this is messed up. You're like sitting there like,
shut the fuck up.
I'm sweating. This is 10 hours. I'm pissed, but you gotta really like, that's when that discipline comes back. Cause like, you really gotta hone it in.
Yeah.
And being like strong-minded and disciplined, it really helps with like dealing with clients.
Yeah.
It's an underrated. It's very underrated quality to have is that discipline, I think.
What about like a client that's cheating on you? Have you ever seen Seinfeld?
Yeah, I know.
There's
exactly
an episode on
Seinfeld.
Yeah,
so
where like the barber finds out that his client is cheating on him with another barber.
So,
have you ever had that happen?
So there's like I do actually have clients that see more than just me. I'm also like, me and maybe another guy that they see are both busy, so it's wherever they can get in.
Yeah.
I don't get upset about it. As a matter of fact, I like it because I get to learn about it. If I learn about it, I learn about another barber this way. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, what they do? Like what can I do that make things better? Things like that. And then now I'm in a barbershop where like we're all like, I'm telling you, man, everybody in this barbershop is like top, like big steppers, top notch in the hair industry. And I wanted to be here for a reason, but I want to be around the best. So like we have clients that like jump between us all. You know what I mean? And it can either create a super competitive vibe or it can create like a real learning aspect, things like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like I know I'm going to be busy regardless. Like I believe, I mean, I know that just from my books, but like I believe in myself. Like even if everybody just quit me tomorrow, I'm filling that shit up in a matter of 3 months. Like, I believe that. And
I'm glad to see that you have your head screwed on straight, like with everything. I mean, you have just common sense. You understand that people are going to be assholes.
Yeah,
people are going to do their own
yeah.
things, and you're never going to take that personally.
That's one thing too. That's another thing. We're like, barbers and stylists. I've seen it so many times with like a client would like jump to somebody else and they take it very personal. This shit's just business to me.
Yeah.
Like, my personal life is a lot different from my. It all kind of mixes in, but at the same time, like, I can separate my feelings from business. Yeah. And that's what's gonna separate a lot of people from being here and being here.
Yeah.
Don't let your emotion get the better of you.
Yeah.
And that goes for a lot of different aspects in life. Not just
I think that goes for
hair.
everything in life, honestly. Like,
how many times have you made an emotional decision that you regretted, and then how many times have you made a logical decision that you regretted?
Mm-hmm.
The logical decisions, you usually don't regret them. The emotional ones, I have plenty.
You regret all the time. Yeah,
I have
you're
plenty.
like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't just become. I wasn't just born this way. Like, I have made, mistake after mistake after mistake. I've been in trouble numerous times. I've had a lot of struggles in life, and that's what's got me to a point of like hardening your mind.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was just born this way, because I was a soft kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people have to go through some type of trauma to like become what they want to become. I believe that.
Yeah, I agree with that. You never see anybody that's successful that just has had
everything handed to them.
Red roses their whole life.
It
never
never
happens
happened.
that way.
Yeah, for sure. So I would just say, like, to every like barber and stylist or really any entrepreneur out there, jump in that pool that makes you uncomfortable. Like, being uncomfortable will make you grow. You won't like it. Nobody likes being uncomfortable.
It's like going to the gym. It sucks.
But then when you look back, like, you could do something that makes you uncomfortable for 2 weeks, and then look back when you're done and be like, damn, I'm like a bigger, better person after that.
For sure.
And not just business. This is like
anything in your own life.
Exactly.
They'd be like Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Yeah. I think the internet's made people pretty soft, and it's more welcome to be soft. Which I'm not hating on anybody, but like personally, like if you want to achieve,
it's more accepted.
You want to achieve certain things, toughen up.
You got to be Clint Eastwood. Be a tough son of a bitch.
You said it, not me.
I did, because I love Clint Eastwood.
Yeah,
you just got to be a tough, gruff old bastard,
Yeah, there's something to it.
Yeah. Do you have any other advice you want to give out there to people that want to get into hairdressing or barber school or open a barbershop or anything like that?
Yeah, man. Anybody in hair, like if you're looking to grow, never be too big to learn. You can't grow without learning. If it's money you're worrying about like starting a place, put your head down and find a way to get it, because there's tons of money out there. If it's trying to be better at cutting hair or better at doing color or whatever it is, put your head down and figure out a way to do it. You're never be too big to go learn from somebody. Like, humble yourselves. Even if you're the best you've ever seen, humble yourself. There's always someone bigger. There's always someone better. Just stay humble, because I have not always stayed humble, and it's been my demise.
And it didn't work out for you?
I've fallen. I probably won't. I don't want to get into it, but I've fallen more than I've risen, and me not being humble has been my demise every time. That's the pure, honest truth. I've fallen very hard in life too. Just for instance, like multiple arrests, things like this. This is all stems from me being too big to learn from anybody. And I'm 27, sitting here telling you right now, you're not too big to learn anything from anybody. And just try to be the best person you can be. That's all it is. Achieve your goals.
That's some good stuff, man. Thank you for sharing that, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
That's very important for everybody listening right now. That's some good stuff.
I'm not too
that's
big.
Real life
I'm not
experience.
too big to share it. Like, I'm humble enough to.
And it's real experience. You're not just
real.
pulling some bullshit from
Very
somebody
real,
or quoting a book or anything.
Very real.
Yeah. Well, tell people where they could find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on pretty much all social media platforms. at The Men's Hairdresser. I'm also found at Wichita Barber Company, and YouTube education coming soon. Be on the lookout. It's also The Men's Hairdresser. Then I want to thank you guys for reaching out and having me on. I think you guys have a badass setup. It's really it's really nice to see. I see a lot of people starting podcasts here and there, and I don't see many people doing it like this.
I appreciate it,
high
man.
level production.
Thank you.
It looks really great in here. You seem to know what you're doing.
Thanks, man.
And I appreciate that. Just on like man to man, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Watching somebody, if you're gonna do something, do it right.
Do it the right
So
way.
I appreciate
Don't half-ass
that
it.
from you.
My dad pounded that in my head when I was a kid.
good.
Never half-ass things.
Good.
And that's an important lesson.
Yeah.
But so The Men's Hairdresser, it's all in my description. Go on my Facebook, go on my YouTube. If you're on YouTube right now, go in my description, click on The Men's Hairdresser, find him on Instagram, find him on TikTok. When your YouTube channel comes out, I'll post all that shit.
YouTube is actually up.
It's up right now?
Yeah, there's videos on there.
Can I go ahead and share it in my description and everything still?
Of course,
Okay,
yeah.
It's all there, folks. Go find him. Go to the Wichita Barber Company in Wichita if you need a haircut. You need a fresh, clean shave by somebody that's licensed.
Of course.
And folks, that's Braeden for you. And thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you for your time.
Anytime. Cheers.
Cheers, man.